All right, children, welcome once again to our lessons. Hope you are fine. I'm teacher about Richard, still handling topic of drugs in society. So I want you to get organized, to get your materials as usual, and we start off our lesson. So today we shall be looking at yet something interesting, drugs of dependence and drug abuse. But if I look at that, remember last time I left with an activity which you need to go through. So as usual, get your pencil and you check your possible answers for that. I left with 5 numbers. We are looking at drug misuse, remember that? Our first question here says explain the meaning of the term drug misuse, and we said this is the use of a drug without the doctor's advice, or the use of a drug without health workers' advice, or one can simply say it's the wrong use of a drug. If you got right, you put a tick. Question number 2, to give any 2 ways drugs are misused. We looked at several ways drugs are misused. We talked about sharing drugs, taking overdose, taking underdose, self-medication. All those are ways drugs are misused. Question number 3, to mention one effect of drug misuse. What happens if you misuse a drug? We said this can lead to either underdose or overdose, or to make jam resistant to the drug. So if you answered any of that, you put a tick. Question 4, state the danger of sharing drugs made for one patient or one person. If you do that, we said here, you are going to cause underdosage for any of that. And lastly, suggest one way of preventing drug misuse. Here we said we should avoid self-medication. We need to follow the doctor's prescription properly. So my children, if you got 5 out of 5, that's awesome, wonderful, great. Can give yourself that comment. If you failed any of those numbers, fine. The collections can be written very fast so that you can help you to remember that. So today, as I've already mentioned, we are going to look at yet another interesting thing called drug dependency and stroke drug abuse. Don't confuse them with drug misuse. By the end of this lesson, we shall get to know the meaning of several terms here. There are several words you are going to be learning. This drug dependency, this drug abuse, these drugs of dependency also. 2, we shall be able to state a reason why people abuse drugs. Then 3, we are going to look at the factor that can lead to drug dependency. That's the thing we expect to achieve at the end of this lesson here. In our first session, children, we want to find out the meaning of some of these words. You could have made them somewhere in different papers. So what's the meaning of some of these words, like drugs of dependency, drug dependency, and drug abuse? Could you be having an idea of any of them? I can see you're trying to scribble. Maybe you have got something. I see somebody trying to find. We'll let with my answers there. So let's first find out the meaning of some of them. Drugs of dependency. Drugs of dependency. What does this mean? These are drugs that can cause addiction if taken for a long time. Sometimes we get used to a certain drug. If you take that drug for a long time, then it's going to become a drug of dependency. You are depending on that drug for normal function of your body. So it becomes a drug of what? A drug of dependency. Then there's a term called drug dependency. Don't confuse with the first word. The first word is drugs of dependency. This drug dependency. What does this mean? It's a condition when a person depends on a drug for normal functioning of the body. You depend on a certain drug for normal functioning of your body. That's what we call drug dependency. Any drug you tend to use for normal function of your body. Of course, some people out there use certain drugs which actually affect their bodies. If you depend on that drug every day, you are taking that drug for your body to function well, then it becomes a drug of dependency. Hope you have got right, children. Then we have another word here, drug abuse. Drug abuse. The other one we saw last time was drug misuse. But this one is drug abuse. What does this mean? This is the use of drugs in a way that is harmful to the body. Sometimes people use certain drug, and this drug can harm them, their bodies. If they tend to do such, then we shall say they are abusing a drug. That's what we call drug abuse. That's in the scientific sense. However, drug abuse can also mean something else. It can also mean illegal use of drugs. But for us here, in our education part of it, we shall define it as the use of drug in a way that is harmful to the body. So let me hope you have got the 3 words right. Circle the first word there, drugs of dependency, then drug dependency, then drug abuse. So, fine children, you can see here, your body become drugs, full of drugs only. If you depend on drug for normal function of your body, then you are going to become a pharmacy, you are going to become a hospital. Can you imagine a body full of drugs like this? For everything, you take a drug. Everything, you take a drug. Now, that's going to be a problem. That's called drug dependency. Then, we are writing that that's a condition result of a body addicted to a drug. Your body cannot do anything unless it has taken a particular drug. And that's very harmful, we shall see later on. Then we can see here drug abuse. Some of say, can I inject myself? There are certain people out there inject themselves. They abuse certain drugs and they push them in the body. We shall look at those drugs, don't worry. I can see here, you can see there are several tabs here, down here. Then again, there's the medicine, there's a drug in the syringe there. Somebody trying to inject himself using a certain drug. And that can be very dangerous. We shall look at that later on. Then, in our next session, children, we will need to find out, why do you think some people abuse certain drugs? Why do you think some people abuse certain drugs? I know you could be knowing some people out there in your village, in your locality, who abuse certain drugs. So we want to find out, why do you think they abuse certain drugs? Can you write for me only 2 reasons why you think people abuse certain drugs? Only 2. I'm giving you just less than 20 seconds. Fine. 10, 15, 20. Fine. We check with my reasons here. Could you be having any of that? 1, to reduce chronic pain. Some people have got certain pains of different illnesses. So they think when they take a particular drug, the pain will definitely go. Of course, the pain can go for a short time, but again, it's going to keep on coming back. So for how long are you going to abuse the drug? So some people take drug to reduce chronic pain, and so on. 2, to keep awake or asleep. This is very common. People are driving vehicles, long distance travelers. If you are going to be traveling from Mombasa up to Kigali, and you have to be awake driving a vehicle, that's why some people keep on abusing certain drugs. They eat certain things, which we'll be learning later on. They eat those things, and they stay awake. Others, because they don't have sleep, they take certain drugs there, and they fall asleep. Some people don't have sleep, by the way. The people don't have sleep, so they take certain drugs to sleep, and so on. Then others take those drugs to enhance body performance. So they take those drugs so that they boost their energy. If whatever they are doing, if they are running, they are able to run very fast. If they are playing football, able to play without getting tired, and so on. So that's also enhance their body performance. Others take those drugs to fit in the peer groups because they are being influenced by their friends. So that's why they take those drugs. Then others take those drugs to enhance pressure. Some of them take them just for pressure reasons, just. Then others take them to pass time. Then there are those who take them to concentrate. There are those who take them to be bored. And so many other reasons, of course, why people abuse certain drugs. So don't worry, my children, we shall be looking at those drugs which people tend to abuse, and so on. So you can see this young lady here is just passing time. Which drug this lady abusing, you will find out. I can say it's cigarettes, in one of the hands trying to smoke. Yeah, you shall find out. Tobacco is a drug of dependence. You shall look at that. She's passing time. Then, you can see this one here. You can also here, relax and whatnot. This one, they are trying to socialize. This is peer influence, and so on. People abuse drugs because they have been influenced by their peers. Your friend can actually deceive you to start taking a particular drug. You see, one of them was not taking, and the other 2 are smoking. And they are trying to convince her that, why don't you join us? And that can be very dangerous. We saw the effect of smoking last time. Remember that? Smoking has got several effects, and so on. Then, in our next session, children, we need to look at the factors that can lead to drug abuse. What factors exactly make these people to start abusing drugs? Can you write for me only 2 on your paper there? 2 only, don't go beyond 2. Check with mine here. 1, curiosity. Curiosity, what does that imply? Some children, actually, children generally, they are curious. They want to learn. They want to know more about certain things. So let me try this thing here. And in so doing, they end up abusing a particular drug. When they see somebody doing certain thing, they also want to copy that very thing there. So they are curious. They want to know what exactly that thing which is being done by so-and-so. Just being curious. Secondly, there's peer pressure. Have you seen that? I know you could have written this one here. So peer pressure, your friends can influence you into taking certain kind of drug. And eventually, you start abusing the drug. Then the family problem. Some people have got problems in their families. The number of them, and because the problems are endless, they resort to taking certain drugs. So eventually, it affects them in the long run. Then also you have got misleading adverts. This one happened on TV. They put somebody taking certain drug, maybe smoking, maybe drinking a certain type of alcohol, and he is a celebrity, and therefore also want to become like your favorite celebrity. You say, I think also when I take this one, I'm going to become like so-and-so. So such kind of thing, those are misleading what? Adverts. So don't look at any advert that appears on your TV and you take it up as something very good. Some of these things are quite dangerous to your health. Then poverty. Poverty is another factor here which can make people to start abusing drugs. When they don't have money, they resort to doing all kind of things. And eventually, problems are going to arise. So these are some of the factors that can lead to drug abuse. Hope you've seen them, children. We have curiosity, we have peer pressure, we have family problems, we have misleading adverts, then we have poverty. Now, I think that's enough for you today. Let me hope you are safe. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.